United States takes on Canada in part 2 of this rivalry series on Thursday night at 8 o'clock, probably more like 8:20 on ESPN and all their associated channels. Canada went 2-1 in the round robin, and the biggest question with them, you have to stick with Jordan Binnington, don't you? Like, you going to go to Aiden Hill? You going to go to Sam Montembeault? You think they stick with Binnington in the final here?
At this point, you have to, yes. I mean, listen, he shouldn't have been on the team in the first place. I mean, I could think of 3 Canadian goalies that are better than the 3 that they have now. This isn't what we're here to discuss, but yeah, at this point, you just stick with him. You know, who knows if he is the quote-unquote big game player. It's been 6 years since he won a cup. Let's relax on that.
But he did it in that building.
Let's relax on that too. I don't care. I don't care. It's been 6 years. It's just, yeah, at this point, you don't change. You don't change your goalie at this point. You're not all of a sudden going to throw in somebody new. No, it's going to be Jordan Binnington, barring him getting sick. It'll be his net until he gives up 3 in the first couple of minutes, and they have no choice but to put in Aiden Hill.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's not like you don't have some Stanley Cup pedigree in the backup position with Aiden Hill. I think it would be crazy if they ended up going with Sam Montembeault. That would be John Cooper galaxy braiding this to the 10th degree. But you do have a guy with some caliber in Aiden Hill. Now, I agree. Logan Thompson would probably be the guy you want to put in net right now, but he's not on the team for reasons that are unbeknownst to us. So I do agree with you. I think they stick with Binnington, even in his best game, which was yesterday. Boy, did it look like he was real leaky at the end there. It was a rough finish for Team Canada and for Jordan Binnington. So we'll have to wait and see how that goes. The United States also finishes the round robin 2-1, but okay, they lost last night 2-1 to Sweden in a game where, let's be honest, meant absolutely nothing to them. But their biggest question is who's playing, because there's a lot of injuries, there's a lot of illnesses, and there's a lot of question marks for Thursday night. Matthew Tkachuk obviously held out due to precautionary reasons. Brady Tkachuk was in and out of the lineup all night last night. Charlie McAvoy was reportedly taken to the hospital in Boston, so we'll have to wait and see what that is with an upper body injury. Austin Matthews was held out. Vincent Trocheck was banged up. That's a lot of injuries, Horwat, and that's a lot of injuries to very important pieces. I mean, look no further than the Tkachuk brothers and what they did on Saturday night at the Bell Center. That's a huge question mark for Team USA going into Thursday night.
Yeah, there's belief that at least Matthews, the Tkachuks, and Trocheck will be in the lineup. It's just a matter of how healthy they are. They probably won't be at 100%. I mean, Austin Matthews hasn't looked himself this whole tournament, so who knows exactly what's going on with him. He hasn't looked like himself all season, to be fair. The Tkachuks is that part's so unfortunate considering how Brady's been throwing his body around like a wrecking ball. And Matthew is one of those heartbeat players. The fact that the video of him is crazy. Him just tapping John Tortorella and just saying, I can't go. You're up by 1 against Canada, and you're taking yourself out of the game in the third. That's crazy.
Him a hockey player. If it was a basketball player, then I'd be like, yeah. But if you watch that Amazon series, you know what he went through just to stay in those games. And if you've heard anything, if you've ever heard Matthew Tkachuk speak about Team USA, you knew he didn't want to come out of that game. So how injured is he to not be able to play in that game?
Exactly. So that one is crazy. Trocheck, who knows? Again, I think I think someone was saying on Twitter, hand injury. He played through it, but seemed to be in pain. We'll get updates from the Bruins on McAvoy soon, I think. And then also, let's not forget they haven't had Quinn Hughes this whole tournament.
Yeah.
So yeah, who is playing for this team? I feel like those players will be in. They just won't be at 100%, and that could still be a big factor, especially if Canada comes in mostly healthy and ready to exact their revenge in Boston.
Yeah, I was about to say, let's not bake in an excuse here for Team USA, because Team Canada is also dealing with a handful of injuries. I mean, we've talked already about Sidney Crosby not being 100%. I think that much is abundantly clear. Not to mention the fact that they're down Alex Pietrangelo, they're down Shea Theodore. I believe, is it Noah Hannafin? No, Noah Hannafin's on Team USA. What am I thinking? There's somebody else that's down for Team Canada as well. And
Makar was sick, but he came back. Thomas Harley could play if he wanted to.
Elmagar is still probably dealing with that illness. So there's injuries on both sides. So it's not baking in an excuse, but when you look at the names, if they don't play, it makes an even bigger, impact on this game. Especially, we talked about the Kachucks being the heartbeat of this team. Charlie McAvoy set the tone on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Charlie McAvoy is one of the biggest reasons that Jake Gensel scored that opening goal in USA versus Canada, because he absolutely obliterated Connor McDavid against the boards. His physical play, his ability to play that, rough games, the Team USA game, I guess we should call it now, that set the tone for the defense. Now, Slavin and Brock Faber were phenomenal, but they're not going to set the physical tone like that. That's got to be Charlie McAvoy. And without him, it changes the entire fabric of what this matchup could be. So there's a lot of question marks going into this one, and I think it just makes it that much more entertaining on Thursday night, because you don't know which way this could go. This game was decided by really a razor-thin margin on Saturday, and now there's all these other variables that are getting tossed in just about a half a week later. It's going to be a very fun night on Thursday night. It's going to be a big night for the sport of hockey and a big night for the National Hockey League. So I'm excited to see how it all plays out. But now we got to do the unfortunate thing, which is try to predict how it's all going to play out. We asked yesterday on our community page on YouTube at Tip of the Ice-Burgh, who wins gold on Thursday? Is it Team USA and Mike Sullivan, or is it Team Canada and Sidney Crosby? 55% of the vote went to Team USA. 45% say Sidney Crosby walks away with gold once again. So, Horwat, I'll give you the honors. Who comes away with gold medals on Thursday?
You can't deny Team Canada most of that lineup in this situation. Mitch Marner might blank. I mean, come on, he's done. He and the Leafs have been doing that for a long time. So we're not worried about him. But Connor McDavid pulled his team from down 3-0 in the Stanley Cup final to a Game 7. Now, Game 7 went the way it did, but him in this one singular game, there hasn't been 6 games of buildup. It is one singular championship game. He's going to be a ball of fire. Sidney Crosby is one of those guys that every player turns to and goes, yeah, you're the one we want in Game 7. You are. Nathan McKinnon is a Stanley Cup champion and is at the top of his game. It has been for like 3 years now. The goaltending is still questionable. The defense is banged up. If Cale Makar is even on the ice, that's a good start. I gotta give Canada the edge, also because it's not a baked-in excuse. It's just the facts that USA is coming in limping a little bit, and those key guys not being at 100% could be cause for concern. And also, Mike Sullivan did say they're coming up with a contingency plan, so we'll see who they can pull in if they need to pull anyone in.
By God, that's Brian Rust's music.
Oh boy, oh boy. I can't think of any other Americans at the moment, but yeah, it's going to be fascinating to see. It's going to be a fun game regardless. I think the real winner here is going to be the fans and the bare minimum 5.2, I think it was, million people that watch. So they'll be the real winners, and I'd say Canada gets a slight advantage in my head. I'm just rooting for very good hockey, period.
I'm rooting for Team USA. Let me be perfectly clear about that. I want to see Team USA win this, even though I wouldn't hate seeing Sidney Crosby win gold. I never hate seeing Sidney Crosby win. So I'm never going to say I'm purposely hoping that he loses, but I am hoping that Team USA wins. However, the Kachucks and McAvoy potentially missing or not being at 100% scares the daylights out of me when it comes to predicting this game. And I can't shake the feeling that this is a repeat of Vancouver in 2010. In 2010, the United States beat Canada 5-3 in the round robin, and I, as a 14-year-old, was pumped. I was saying, United States is beating Canada. They're going to beat them again in the final. They're going to do everything they can, and they're going to bring back gold medal hockey to the United States of America. And then what happened? Sidney Crosby. Sidney Crosby happened. He had his seminal international moment where he scores the golden goal in a 3-2 win in overtime. I can't shake the feeling that this is a repeat, Because you know what? In the last time Sidney Crosby lost international hockey was that 5-3 round robin loss in 2010. And that's what he did. He just rattled off 26, 27 straight international victories for Team Canada. Yeah, I have a hard time picking against that. And that's why I think if I'm going to predict the game, I'm going to predict Team Canada. And I think it's going to be a 4-3 game. I think there's going to be enough scoring in this one, but I think it's going to be a 1-goal game. I'm going to say 4-3 Team Canada. And it's one of those things where you bet against the team that you wanted to win, but at the very least, you won your bet. And I think that's where I'm sitting right now.
Do we get overtime?
I'm not predicting that because that'll be, if I predict that and it doesn't come to pass, it's a low shot of happening. I'm going to say 4-3, and I'm just going to stick with 4-3. I'm not going to say if it's regulation overtime, can't be in a shootout, thank the Lord. But I'm going to say it's 4-3.